Find out who the best marketer is in the room. We're going to look at some videos, and we're really going to dive deep. And then the last session, if we have time, a little bit about the duopoly that has started between Facebook and what goes on with YouTube. So the first picture I want to show you is an image of a boxing match. And in this, okay, this is what the past looks like. This is what trying to get a TV in everyone's household looks like, right? You see everybody in the audience focused, right? We can't even do that today because this is what it looks like, right? It's kind of what the room looks like today, right? This is the world that we live in, okay? We can't keep anybody's attention, right? So what's the most powerful tool we have as marketers today? It has to be video. There's nothing else that can compete. Can I drive an emotional action through a search ad or through a display ad? It's gonna be a little tougher, right? So again, when we think about YouTube, when we think about Facebook, let's think in our heads real quick, ask our neighbors, what do we go to these platforms for, right? What do we go to YouTube for? What do we go to Facebook for? In my opinion, Facebook is a slot machine. We have no idea what post is coming next. Is it my grandma's post? Is it a friend's post? Is it an ad? We have no idea. It is literally a slot machine that we play. When we go to YouTube, we know we're going there for video. We know we're going there for video. And a good analogy to think about is that if you're in a grocery store and you're waiting in line and somebody sends you a Facebook post, that's an easy check. If I send you a YouTube video, you're probably gonna wait till you get home. And so understand the user behavior between these two platforms. It's vastly important when you leverage advertising on them. So why do I think YouTube is the most valuable impression on the web? And it's primarily because of this 0 to 30 seconds. You only pay for a user after 30 seconds. And so this key slide right here is something that I think is so important to brands, especially when it comes to YouTube, is that look at everything that you can do in those 30 seconds. When a user skips at 5 seconds, an advertiser doesn't pay. An advertiser only pays after 30 seconds. So if 1 million people start the video and 200,000 people make it past 30, that's a 20% view rate, and what YouTube considers average, right? The higher the view rate, lower the cost. Lower the view rate, higher the cost. Because it's all about engagement. If you stay past 30, probably a pretty good ad. But the secret sauce in this first 30 seconds is what you see on the screen, right? Hook, engage, illustrate the problem. Solve the problem with your brand or service before you even pay for that user. All of that is possible on YouTube. So the big thing that I want to get across to you is audience qualification. Very simple, right? If I target females, it's going to be a penny. If I want a mom with a household income and a child of a certain age, I'm going to pay a premium for that, right? It just makes sense. This next slide, I'm going to show you a video, okay? And this is a video that we used and we targeted to females. But we knew that our target audience was going to stay past 30.
As a nanny, I've seen it all, and I mean all. One thing I know about a cold is that tissue, paper towel, or even your sleeve are all savage on your little one's skin, especially if you're wiping 20, 30, or even 40 times a day. It's like sandpaper on your baby's nose. That was before one brilliant mum brought home boogie wipes. Boogie wipes are the first natural saline nose wipes invented by mums for kids, and they're patented. Unlike other wipes, boogie wipes have no harsh or drying chemicals. Their natural saline dissolves mucus without irritation, and thanks to aloe, vitamin E, and chamomile, instead of annoyed, skin feels moisturized. Pampered even. Look, at the end of the day, your children will get sick. They're kids after all. But take it from someone who's had quite a few children. You can prepare yourself for the worst and provide them with the best. They're all I use, and I do have a reputation to uphold. Make wiping your little one's nose a much less painful experience. Click here to get boogie wipes today.
This is going to be a little painful.
Like boogie wipes?
But I'm going to back up real quick and go back to this timeline to understand that first 30 seconds, right? If I go here and I target females, probably there's moms and females. There's moms with one kid. There's moms with a household income inside of that female audience. So if I target all females with this specific ad, my view rate might be lower, right? Or it could be, we don't know yet, but my mom is only gonna stay past 30. And I'm also branding for the future with those free impressions. Like that is the power, I think, in qualifying that audience in that first 30 seconds. So, sorry guys. Passive versus active viewing environments, right? When we think about TV, that passive viewing environment is what we had in the past, right? Because we were setting up for commercials. That's not today. We live online, and so we need to be in an active viewing environment, quick cuts. If you remember the video that I showed you, it was very quick. Drop the music in the beginning. As a nanny, I got the person face to camera. This is the way we need to build video today. And so again, we gotta follow the trend. What are we seeing YouTube do? Get rid of the 60, get rid of the 90, get rid of the 30. Let's push TrueView, let's push bumper ads, shorter form, right? Let's follow the trend. And then the other important thing when it comes to YouTube is click types. Like, I can't tell you guys enough about click types, right? If you wanna double your CTR on YouTube, implement a click type strategy. And it starts with cards, right? Cards allow you to have little buttons, push people to a shopping area, take people to a website, a channel, a playlist, another video. Great during the video to bring these things up. The next is an end screen. Like, this is another place that I see advertisers fail a lot, is that once they get to the end of your video, in the last 20 seconds, let's put them somewhere. Let's at least give them another video. But at least let's give them an opportunity to subscribe. But we can also send them to the website, send them to, you know, a specific page, a blog, an advertorial. And then also, this CTA overlay comes up in the beginning of your video. And so again, if you want to increase your CTR, this is very easy to do this, just by leveraging these type of tools. But every click type has a strategy for each video. If you build an amazing video, you spend $250,000 and you want people to watch it, don't apply any click types. Like, let people just watch the video. But if you want people to click through, if you want people to take an action, this is the chart you need to kind of look at to say, okay, where should we start to add these different things? And then another important aspect of YouTube is don't take your TV creative and just throw it on YouTube and expect it to work. People come to these platforms for completely different reasons. And people go to YouTube to educate, entertain, and inspire, right? So let's build content around these three areas. And then the last thing that is super important, okay? When building video, the medium to close shot, right? Like getting close in. And that's because the majority of views are gonna be on the mobile device. Face the crowd. Potentially have a spokesperson. Have somebody talking to me. Create that engagement. And then lastly, the power of the product demo. Demo your product potentially in the first 30 seconds, right? That's a huge opportunity. So to recap section 1, scalability versus attention. Leveraging those first 30 seconds. Having a click type strategy, but also creating value, okay, with entertaining, inspiring, or engaging. Now, section 2, the fun part. So the first case study we're gonna look at is multivariable analysis, and we're gonna look at a company called Ibotta. What Ibotta did was they wanted to revolutionize the couponing industry. And by doing that, you're able to go to a store, buy some milk, scan the receipt, and it drops a little dollars into your Ibotta account that you can take into your bank account, right? I'm gonna show you 3 different versions today. Family version, a personal version, and a social version. And as you watch this, I want everybody in the crowd to think which one drove the best cost per install. Which drove people to install this app at the highest propensity as we watch these 3 versions.
Oh, good one. Careful of the phone. No phone means no Ibotta, which means no cash back on almost everything I buy. Dude, seriously? I've never been a coupon clipper, but it's nice to save because things are always coming up. Like when my 2 BFFs decided to get pregnant at the same time. What am I, a baby shower factory? Luckily, I downloaded the Ibotta app and started getting actual money back. Red or the black? It's date night. Better go with the black. Ooh, ultraviolet diaper cleaning kit. Everyone's always like, Britt, how do you manage? The trick is I'm always saving money now. Always. Ibotta makes it so easy for me to get extra cash. All I have to do is unlock rebates in my iPhone, verify my purchases, and the savings show up just like that. Hi, Everly. Look at your beautiful mural all over mommy's wall. Little Rembrandt. That's why I'm always checking Ibotta now. Okay guys, I'm stuck. I've been using Ibotta like crazy and I'm getting all this extra cash, not points, real money back on things I buy every day anyway, and it's so easy. Yeah, see the problem now? College fund for Everly? Shoes for me. Don't get me wrong, I'm thrilled I downloaded the Ibotta app. Life changer, but I didn't have this many problems when I didn't have so much extra cash. Seriously, I never would have ordered my BFF a pre-baby shower gift. I swear, everyone's having babies all around me. Red or the black? We're going out tonight. Definitely the black. Ooh, a baby scented candle. Everyone's always like, Britt, how do you manage? The trick is I'm always saving money now. Always. Ibotta makes it so easy for me to get extra cash. I just unlock rebates in my Ibotta app, verify my purchase and my savings show up just like that. Hi, Everly. Look at your beautiful mural all over mommy's wall. Little Rembrandt. That's why I'm always using Ibotta.
Holy.
Oh, spicy? Sip the coconut soda water, honey. Seriously, before we started saving money with Ibotta, we never would have just ordered the poke, bone marrow, and blistered shishito peppers. He's just being dramatic. Okay, that wasn't cheap. But we love to try new restaurants. It makes us feel rich, but we are in debt. Luckily, I downloaded the Ibotta app, and we've been getting real money back on all the other stuff we buy in real life. Which you like better? We're going to a gluten-free tasting party tonight. Definitely the black. Ooh, vegan fusion Korean tapas. Everyone's always like, hey, how can you afford to go out? The trick is I'm always saving money now, always. Ibotta makes it so easy for me to get cash. All I have to do is unlock rebates in my Ibotta app, verify my purchase in my savings show, just like that. Hi, Everly, look at your beautiful mural. There's always something that's gonna eat up your money. That's why I'm always checking Ibotta. Ibotta is the free, super simple money-saving app that gets you cash back.
So, first one was family, with her at the pool with the kids. Second one was personal, started with her doing yoga. And then the last one was social, with her at dinner. By a show of hands, for family, best cost per install. Nobody family, okay? Personal. A few. Social. Wow. You gotta be kidding me. I've never seen that happen, by the way, guys. I've never seen that happen. Give it up for the UK, give it up for London, best marketers I know, man. Let's go. Come on, give it up for yourself. Great job, guys. But the proof is really in the data, right? Like, look at my view rates, right? Then you'll see my cost per views, all 6 cents. I didn't get dinged because I had a lower view rate on the personal version. Higher click-through rates, lower CPCs on the family and personal, right? But where's the secret sauce? It's in my click to install ratio, right? That CTI at 21%. 21% of people that clicked decided to install that app. I hit them here. I hit them right in the heart, right? Where it counts, okay? And so that's the power of video, in my opinion. So when we take this another layer, right? And again, a lot of numbers on the screen. You're looking at parent versus non-parent, okay? By the 3 different creatives, family, personal, and social. If you look at family, you can see that it did better for parents. If you look at personal, you can see that it did better for non-parents. But regardless, social wins out. And if I go social non-parent, I'm at 30% of people that click convert. We're all great marketers in here, as we can tell, but we all know that there's more audiences that we can navigate through. I haven't touched age and gender. I haven't touched device. I haven't touched Android versus iOS. We can get this to maybe 50-60% if we wanted to. So again, the proof is really in variation. And that's what I wanted to get through with this case study. And again, we don't come to those levels that we saw in the first week because we optimized the creative the right way and we brought down the CPI. So when you think about your video, think about that storytelling style. Don't just create one video, create 2, create maybe 3, right? And have those different styles. And if I can give you any advice, make the variations wild. The last thing that you want is to create 2 variations and see one at a 25% view rate and the other at 30%, right? You want to see something at 15 versus 45, right? Something that really gives you an idea of, oh, they really like this or they really hate that. Another thing is brand presence, right? We always have this question of when do we bring the brand in? I can tell you this, I can give you this advice. If you're reaching a first-time consumer, drop the brand. You're gonna get hit on the view rate, right? But drop the brand. Now, when you retarget that user or any user that's already been exposed to your brand, you don't necessarily need to bring that brand in the beginning. Or another great way is to use your brand on the product, maybe in a product demo within the first 30 seconds, right? Those type of things. And I get it, all the companies are different. So, take this as you can. This next case study looks at view rate analysis. And so I'm gonna show you 5 videos and they're all gonna be apps, okay? And I'm only gonna show you the first 30 seconds. I want you to take the Ibotta one that won, that's social, and then combine it with the next 5 that I showed you. And the big question that I want to ask is which one drove the highest view rate, right? Which one caused users to stay past 30 seconds at the longest propensity, okay?
Honey, I just got the iPhone. It's amazing.
It can't be better than my BlackBerry.
You just swipe it.
You just swipe it? That's so simple. Our daughter could use it.
Can you imagine? Our daughter connected to everything and everyone in the world.
What, if anything, could go wrong?
I'll tell you what could go wrong. Everything. Trust me, I come from the future. Specifically,
if you're self-employed, you're probably keeping track of the miles you drive so you can write them off on your taxes. If you're using pen and paper or some other method to track your miles, you're likely losing money. When you miss tracking just one trip, you lose up to $5 or more. Don't make the mistake of not tracking your miles. Get Mile IQ. It's an app that puts money back in your pocket. Whenever you get in your car and drive, it automatically, by itself, detects, logs, and calculates your miles. You don't need to do anything. At the end of the year, you have all the information you need in an IRS-compliant report. So how does Mile IQ automatically track your miles? The app uses smart drive detection technology to create a drive log on your smartphone. Just turn it on once, and Mile IQ does all the work. You never have to
Why, hello there. People used to think that because I was a finger, I couldn't have everything. Then I downloaded Lucktastic. It set me down my life path. Turns out my life path is winning prizes and cash. Who'd have thought that a free app could manifest my very, very expensive lifestyle?
The universe. She works in mysterious ways.
She does indeed, Guru Mike. At first, getting something for nothing felt like stealing. But the more I won, the more I realized that my good luck wasn't just luck. It was my good karma coming back to me. Winning stuff was my destiny. Sophia, help me out here. You too could find your true calling. Just download Lucktastic from the App Store and start playing free games and entering contests to realize your destiny of...
It's so great to be able to pull out your phone and capture a beautiful video of your family. But then what happens to it?
There's great options like prints and photo books for your photos, but there isn't anything for videos. You work hard to document your family memories, but if you're like us, they sit on the phone or in the cloud, collecting dust, and then they're forgotten.
And then when you share it, everybody has to watch it on a little phone screen instead of together as a family.
That's why we created Yours.co. Using the Yours.co app, you select your favorite videos and photos. These are securely uploaded and run.
This is Dave. Dave was supposed to buy tickets for him and his friends to go to the game tonight. Dave did buy tickets for tonight's game, then left them in the printer, over an hour away. Now Dave and his friends are in a pretty bad place. Paper tickets. Rookie mistake. Dave should have just used Game Time. Game Time is the fastest way to buy tickets to live events with your friends. You can buy the perfect seats in seconds, and tickets are delivered directly to your phone, so you always have them with you. Download Game Time free on the App Store, and you'll instantly see a curated list of the best upcoming events in your area. Game Time sorts through thousands of available seats on the market and presents you with only the 50 best values, not an impossibly long list of choices.
If we're thinking about the highest view rate, more people staying past 30 seconds, how many for Ibotta? How many for web safety? How many for Lucktastic? How many for Yours.co? And then how many for Game Time? It's honestly split across the board. We're only gonna have a few winners today, so Yours.co is by far the winner, followed by web safety, but this chart is more to do with the stats, and that if you can create really good video content that stays past 30 seconds, I still have yet to see a view rate higher than 70%, but if you can get it above 50, you're gonna get YouTube CPMs less than $6, and for me, that's a W. That's a really big W. But view rate matters, and what I wanna get across with this case study is creating really good creative matters, and also along with really good creative, is your ability to create the variations necessary to drive that better view rate. So again, here's another just simple variation analysis to show you. And again, I'm comparing a 1 minute, a 15, two 15s, a 224, 32, and a 6-second bumper, right? The thing that I want to get across to you is the stuff that's highlighted. 64% view rate on my long form, 43% of people completing that long form at 2 minutes and 25 seconds, right? Why would I ever run any other creative? If you take those stats and you compare them to the bumper down there, I don't think YouTube is ready for that. To have a 635 CPM on a 2 minute 25 video and a 530 CPM on my 6-second bumper. Like, I mean, I should be paying $3 for that bumper. That might make me use it for this campaign, but there's a lot of value in creating really good creative. So this next case study goes into audience variable analysis, and I've got to speed up a little bit. So the big thing that I want to get across from you is YouTube works across the entire funnel. If you see what we tested here, custom affinity, just straight demo, in-market, interest audience, keywords, retargeting, YouTube channels, audience segments. And again, this is for a mattress brand, right? I need to competitively conquest against some of the biggest players in the game to make this happen. And if you know who Purple Mattress is, they've just absolutely blown up with YouTube. So again, in looking at the results, right? This last section here called audience segments doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense because I took the best performing audience. And so this is what I did. I said males 25 to 34, only on the iOS, only during the weekday, in the top 10% of household income on YouTube and on the desktop device. What that allowed me to do is drive the best return on ad spend, but I'm paying 15 cents cost per view. I'm paying $33 per click, but the secret is in the click to conversion ratio at 6%. I'm converting people on a mattress at 6% on a YouTube ad. Like, that's crazy, right? But once you find that audience, right? Once you find that core audience, you can peel the onion back a little bit. And I think that's where the performance comes in, right? Where you have that nice balance of scale and performance. So, getting into this next case study. This one is really for those PPC experts. This one is really for those search guys. I think they're gonna really enjoy this. We ran another app client, and this was for, I'm sorry. This was for a gaming client. It's called War Planet, okay? So I'm trying to sell, again. You guys get the gist of it. So again, my view rates were astronomical, 60%, 70% view rates. And so I'm like, this is a little kind of crazy, right? So what do I check? I check the where your ads were shown report that is so similar to the search terms report. They're the exact same thing. So when I go to the where my ads were shown report and I see Kodak Black and Post Malone and I see all this music, I realize that users are using the platform like Pandora. They're not seeing my ad. Like, that is so bad. So I have to exclude music. I'm trying to sell somebody a game and they're not seeing my ad, and that's all that they're hearing. Like, that is horrible. And so again, by excluding music really allows me to reach an audience that is gonna see my ad. So again, always check the where your ads were shown report because it's super important. And then also along with that is that when you find placements that work well, build your own repository of channels and placements, right? Take that to the next level and really understand what your viewers are watching. Next is a really important case study for me. Investor into this company. We launched this company in April, and we launched it specifically with only video. There's no blog, there's no content. I'm selling a reading programs to parents for their kids, and we did this all with video on YouTube and on Facebook.
At the end of the...
Sorry, I did this again. I'm gonna show you the video now.
At the end of the day, I know I'm a good mom.
Mom, I need a costume today!
But at the beginning of the day, I'm not so sure.
Mom, are we late?
Yeah, fashionably late.
Hang on tight, kids, we're coming in hot!
We work really hard to give our kids everything they need to succeed, but the mom guilt is real. But I got rid of my mom guilt. Because I taught my kids how to read before they entered kindergarten, and the rest just kind of takes care of itself.
Mommy, what does fire lane mean?
It means mommy's gonna have to flirt with a nice police officer later, which I am really not dressed to do.
Oh, you're going to the gym today?
Yes. I am definitely going to the gym today. Did I mention I'm supposed to bring a healthy treat? I didn't. Neither did he. Ta-da! All the helpful apps like Pinterest and Instagram just make us feel like we're not doing enough.
Did somebody say Insta?
But guess what? None of us has it all together, not even her. But if we do all the right things, then the rest doesn't matter.
2,000 likes.
Yay! If you really want your kids to succeed in life, all you have to do is teach them the difference between right and wrong and how to read. And teaching them to read is easy and fun with learning dynamics. I mean, I taught my kids how to read before they went to kindergarten.
Oh, honey, don't eat that.
But it says non-toxic.
According to one study, reading ability is more important than IQ in early learning retention. Take that, Einstein.
Hey!
With learning dynamics, it takes only 15 minutes every other day. And in 4 weeks, your kids could be reading their first books or your money back. Now I know what you're thinking. Isn't it the school's job to teach my kids how to read?
That's why I picked this school, and for the professional staff.
You can park here anytime. It's no problem.
No, I love his teacher, but she has to wrangle 30 little monsters for 7 hours a day, and on her salary, if she can keep them all in line, she's a freaking hero.
My mommy says you're a freaking hero.
Oh, your mommy is so smart.
Teachers are awesome, but nobody cares about your kids the way that you do. And 75% of kids in schools across America read below grade level. But kids who finish the Learning Dynamics reading program read a full year above grade level. What the? Seriously?
Bye!
I strongly dislike her. Learning Dynamics comes with fun lessons full of activities, songs, and books. And in just 4 weeks, your kids can be earning their first book.
Do we get to keep it?
You get to keep it. Study after study shows a direct connection between the number of books a kid owns and his or her success in life. With Learning Dynamics, you don't just teach your kids how to read, you teach them to want to read.
Isn't there an app for that?
Mom says screen time rots your brain.
Your mom's so smart. And with Learning Dynamics, your kids earn over 50 books that they get to keep. An app can't do that. And in the same time it takes you to read your little guy a bedtime story,
Read it again, Mommy.
he could be reading you a bedtime story.
For whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee.
Read it again.
I just don't think it's his best work.
I did you. There's no better feeling than knowing your kids are getting a good education. I mean, there are some drawbacks to teaching your kids how to read, like making other parents jealous.
Well, my daughter has her own Instagram account, so.
When you buy the Learning Dynamics reading system, they'll send an academic version to a qualified school in need.
Well, I guess if it helps other kids.
I know, right? Thousands of moms and dads, grandmas and grandpas, people just like you, have helped tens of thousands of kids learn how to read using Learning Dynamics. People like this mom, and that lady, and that guy right there. Look, he's getting rid of his dad guilt. And it looks like Tina just bought one too.
Hashtag helping.
You know, maybe I'm not all chevron-y and Pinteresty, and maybe I am wearing the same sweats to bed as I wore to school today. But at the end of the day, I know I'm a good mom because I taught my kids how to read. And now they can conquer the world.
Mom, science fair's tomorrow.
You can teach your kids how to read too. Just go to 4weekstoread.com to learn more.
So,
I can really use some alone time right now.
You click the link.
So, this is a picture of our YouTube channel, and you guys can go there, and check it out. And I think this is a really good case study to show you what that hero long form video looks like, right? Like, that's the hero long form. Every new consumer that we reach, that's what we want to show them in the beginning, right? And so that's our new user acquisition. But what we also show them is that, should I teach my child how to read videos? And again, we did this in a way so that we recorded all this at the same time, right? We built all these videos for the entire funnel all at the same time. And then we want to retarget from an engagement standpoint, how to do this, how to do that, getting you more comfortable for the brand. And at this point, if I've hit you 2 or 3 times and you're still not converting, I'm going to bring in Cheryl Lant, I'm bringing in Grandma. Grandma's going to close this thing, okay? Because if she can't close it, I don't think anybody can. So building multiple videos, different, explaining a product that is a little bit more complex requires maybe a little bit of a library. So what are the results? Again, I told you this launched in April, and if you're familiar with Shopify, this is the Shopify data. And again, I'm here to talk about YouTube. This is a YouTube session, but I want to show you that YouTube didn't blow this brand up. As you can see, it was a couple of Instagram influencer posts, and it was a price change from $150 to $100, right? But again, I show you these touch points because I don't want to say that it's all YouTube, right? But again, the branding, the education, the time spent that I can garner on YouTube versus a feed is astronomical. So this is the big thing that I want to get across, right? The Facebook video view at 3 seconds and 10 seconds versus YouTube at 30 seconds, right? How much more can you learn with that 30 seconds versus that 3 or that 10 seconds? That's something to think about. But what's also something to think about is the view rate attached to this, right? I have 1% of people staying through my long form. I have 30% staying through on YouTube. 1% versus 30% staying through the entire thing. I don't think it's a creative problem. I think it's a platform problem, right? These platforms are completely different in their viewing behaviors. So again, how does that turn out from a cost per view standpoint? It's astronomical. You're gonna pay between 16 cents and 35 cents for somebody to stay with your ad on Facebook for 30 seconds versus 1 to 2 cents on YouTube, right? But if you look at the bottom, here's also the other key. Spending 10 grand on YouTube and getting 1 conversion versus spending 50K on Facebook and getting 260 conversions, right? You have to look at these two platforms differently, and it's going to be different by each brand. So this is what YouTube can do, in my opinion, and that's Facebook sentiment analysis. You guys will have this deck, you'll be able to go back and look at this, but this is a conversation that women were having on the ad, mothers were having on the ad, and a woman was saying, oh, you know, I don't know how to teach my kid how to read, she's struggling with this. Another mother jumped in and said, hey, I had the same struggles. Here's how I dealt with it. And then a bunch of other moms jumped in and said, wow, this is awesome, this is awesome. Another time, you know, you have them sharing these offer codes on an ad. If you look at the right one, the one on the right for you guys, you'll see how they come back to the ad. Does it work? 4 weeks later, you know? Any updates, right? And they're updating each other on an ad. Like, this is crazy for me, but this is how conversations erupt with really good creative. We're invoking an emotion. We're bringing people to the table to have that conversation. So this is something I'm super proud about and super happy to find out. Now, kind of a recap for session 2. Like, what did we go through, right? Showed you multivariable analysis with Ibotta, creative view rate analysis with those apps, right? We looked at audience variable analysis with the Purple case study. We looked at placement and content analysis with the app. And then we also looked at Facebook versus YouTube in our last. So this last section, try to get through this as quickly as possible, but this is now looking at the duopoly, right? I think we're still gonna have this for a while. I don't think things are gonna change. That these are gonna be the 2 biggest video platforms going forward. And you know, we're gonna have to make do and surround these 2 platforms with other ancillary platforms like Amazon and Pinterest and Snapchat and things like that. But when we think about these 2 platforms, they're so useful in their own area, right? Like, if I'm gonna go do geo-targeting or something with keywords, right? Definitely not gonna try that on Facebook. But if I'm gonna leverage a lookalike system, if I'm gonna build audiences like Julia mentioned earlier, right? With those lookalikes, that's something that is very, very, very good tactic on Facebook. You also have Facebook and Instagram versus YouTube, tying everything together with your Gmail, your search, and your YouTube. So leveraging these platforms for what they're good at is the best way to use them. And then bringing this slide back, another thing that I want to show you is that if you look inside the Facebook UI, you'll see that 30 seconds there, that's a fair comparison to YouTube. I encourage you all to go see if it's still there, because I don't believe it's there anymore. I believe they got rid of it. And it's very interesting because I've been showing this slide for a while. And the thing that I was trying to get through is they'll give me my cost per 3-second view, my cost per 10-second view, but I got to pull the data out and do the math to get my cost per 30-second view. It's kind of interesting. And now I think the 30-second is gone. So it's even more interesting. I still think you can get to those metrics just by doing math with the percentages, but it's still interesting how they take metrics away from us. And then this is probably getting close to my last slide. Lean back versus lean forward. That's how I want us all to look at these platforms. When we watch YouTube, it's very similar to TV, very lean back. Like, we're gonna engage with content. I'm gonna get 100% share of voice to that desktop or that mobile screen, and we're gonna lean back and we're gonna watch the content. When it comes to Facebook and Instagram, it's lean forward all day, right? Neck cramps, we're hunched over, right? This is all day. But you get a lot of conversions like this. Why? We eat like this, we play video games like this, we do a lot of things in this motion. I think it's just natural human behavior. We make no decisions like this on the couch or in the bed. We just don't. We have to lean forward. And so I think that's what causes a lot of the conversions to come from the platforms because of our human behavior. So kind of to recap that, the duopoly's here to stay. We have other places that we can go to as well, and I think that's important. And then also understanding that 100% share of voice and longer watch time is so applicable on something like YouTube. So as we round everything out, when I did this presentation in Austin earlier this year for Hero Conference, one of the things I got dinged on was takeaways, right? Like takeaways, like what can I do? So I've done a lot of takeaways in the back here. There's a bunch of stuff. Feel free to go through it. It's everything that I possibly had, you know, from a YouTube perspective. All the slides are in here for you guys. So feel free to go check those things out. We definitely want to let you guys know that they're there. I'll also post this to my Twitter later, so you guys have it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, guys. Cheers.
Thank you, Cory. That was probably the most entertaining session I've had yet. I got to see a lot of cool ads. I always like that.
Awesome.
We have some questions. We're going to have to cut it short a little bit, but that's fine. We had a great session. So the first question, great presentation, nice insights, very motivated to stay on YouTube. Can you share that presentation in the app to start? You said on Twitter.
100%, guys.
Right,
and also Twitter. The dates here, like I'm here for the next 4 or 5 days. I love educating. I've gone to Hennepin. I've talked to many agencies. I come in and I talk about YouTube, Facebook, a bunch of stuff. So feel free to reach out.
Nice. Regarding YouTube versus Facebook, which one has a better ad recall in your experience?
YouTube. I'm gonna give it to YouTube, man. You're gonna see all the conversions come from Facebook, but I still think it's the most valuable impressions sitting there, getting them in that environment, and I think, you know, that's gonna increase your brand recall a lot more. You gotta think, man, if you hit them with enough frequency on Facebook, right, you get in that feed enough times, yeah, absolutely. But I think YouTube TrueView is your best bang for your buck from brand awareness standpoint.
And then following up on TrueView, is there ever a reason not to use TrueView in like another format
on YouTube?
Yeah.
Depends on your brand. You know, I really like the bumper ad, that 5-second ad, right? But that's only if your long form creative, you know, isn't as good as like the example that we showed. I like 5-second ads. I think they're very quick. I think at the price point, I think they're good. So that's the one that I would definitely use. If you've got the budget, you know, and you really want to do some branding, I mean, you can do 15-second non-skippables, or if you really got the dollars, I mean, buy that hero placement, you know, on the front of YouTube. You know, that's another one. But I think the real power is taking TrueView and applying the targeting to it, right? If you can leverage keyword targeting, you can conquest other people's channels with TrueView. I think that's probably the way to go.
Yeah, nice. A lot of small businesses just don't have the capital to do nice looking videos. So in your experience, should those people invest in low cost video, especially if they have a good product for YouTube, or what do you think for SMBs?
I think for SMBs, look at your competition, okay? For every SMB, look at your competition. I'd probably give it about 90% sure that the first one that gets video right probably wins in the category. You know, we all watch video. We all watch a ton of it. If you've got competition, look at your competition and try to be a leader in whatever category that is. In terms of the cost of video, trust me, I get it. I've had these conversations every single week, you know, and there's some low cost of solutions. There's a lot of, you know, different creative agencies. I mean, like, it's getting out and doing the hard work. In my opinion, it's easy to set up a YouTube ad and throw a video on there. It's easy to set up search and get on Facebook. We can all do it. It's hard to call a creative company and to sit down and try to strategize on that first 30 seconds and to build variation, build creative. The hardest things to do in marketing, usually the most beneficial, right? And I think the big thing to understand too, if you're gonna invest in a creative, understand that you cannot lose. Every time you invest in a creative, you can't lose, because you always learn something about your audience, about the results, right? What they like, what they don't like. You never lose when you build creative, especially video creative.
That's a tweetable phrase. The hardest things in marketing are usually the most valuable. That's so true. Second to the last question, what are your findings on TrueView for action?
This is a new one, man. YouTube has changed a lot in the past couple of years, and what they've done is they started to look a lot more like Facebook, right? We have to choose those brand objectives now. Like, what do you want? Do you want to drive a lead? Do you want to drive a conversion? Or do you want to reach people up top? I'm an analytics guy. I come from a strong DR background, and what I do is I just test it. I'll test it on a cost per view. I'll test it on a CPA, and I'll see which one works best. If I can drive conversions and still get a low CPV on a CPV campaign, by all means. But repeat the question again?
No, that was a good answer. The question was, what are your findings on TrueView for Action?
Yeah. TrueView for Action works. I'm glad they implemented it. I think it allows more clickable opportunities. I think it's best used in app install campaigns because I think you just get more. But yeah.
Last question, you kind of touched on this. Why do you think marketers just don't use YouTube consistently? Is there knowledge gap? Is it something else? Is it, not working? What is that?
There's a huge knowledge gap, but you got, amazing people like Julia and, Joe Martinez, bringing the heat, on the analytics and the targeting side. And then you get a little bit of creative education from me. I just think there's not a lot of people talking about it. I think people are scared. I think people are scared to make the creative because it costs so much. I just think there's a lot of fear. But what I can tell you, where there's fear, there's opportunity. And I tell you, getting ahead of the competition, there's so many case studies of just, different companies getting ahead of the competition with video.
Awesome, yeah, definitely. All right, let's give Cory a round of applause. We're going to finish out this session. You have a couple minutes, and I think there's a break in between, but go ahead, have some coffee, have a good afternoon, and we have one session left for today.